once again have another Vintage Collection Troop Builder pack in the form of the Shoretroopers. It's very nice to finally get the Captain and the Squad Leader in the Vintage Collection. This is one of the very first times that we've ever gotten an articulated version of the Captain from Hasbro, if not the very first, I'm pretty sure. I don't think they did it in Black Series. But unfortunately, as cool as it is to get a little bit of a boost of your Shoretrooper army, this mold is definitely showing its age. It's not as good as I remember it being. It's kind of limited, and they did something with the paint applications on this set that make these in particular look a little odd. But anyways, cool. They're still really cool. I still really like them. I do really like the boxes for these two. Let's bump all those guys out of the way. And yeah, the box is cool. You know, you can see it's got like the black and white artwork, a little bit of color for the blue. It's nice, and then you open it up, and it's got all the tissue paper inside, which is kind of cute. I kind of like how they're packing stuff in tissue paper now. When it comes to online exclusives like this, I see no problem in the plastic-free packaging. However, I'm thinking I'm going to take a moment to make a Taking Toys Too Seriously video talking about this whole plastic-free packaging thing, because there's some issues with it. Alrighty, so cool box. I'm probably not going to keep it. So, let's stand all these guys back up. We got some cool troopers. We definitely do. And I would say these guys are definitely worthy additions to your collection, especially since this is the first time we have gotten the Squad Leader and the Captain in the Vintage Collection, because before we only got 5 POA versions of them. However, we did get the Black Series 3 3/4 inch version of the normal Shoretrooper, and that is what you see here. This is a repaint of it, and it's not an exact repack because they did change the paint ever so slightly. We'll get to that. However, it's just so cool to finally have these. I do want to start off with comparisons so we can talk about some of those paint issues. So moving these guys off to the side here. They're all just taking a nap. Let's bring in one of the original Black Series versions. So one of the differences you might be able to notice is that there is a lot more weathering. Also, it's kind of proportionally a little different, I noticed, standing them side by side. I'm not exactly sure what changed, but I feel like the new one's a little taller. Maybe it's just like a slight mold issue, or maybe it's just some positioning. Maybe it's the neck. I think the neck might be a little higher up on the body. But one major difference that I spot right away is at the helmet. The old one has the helmet, like the mouthpiece, painted fine. However, the new one, the mouthpiece, the black, is painted too high up, and you can see it makes the piece look larger than it is. And they also didn't fully color in the visor either. You can see that the edges of this visor are not fully colored in. However, they're fully colored in on the original Black Series version. Definitely not the biggest fan of the newer helmet. I definitely think they should have made it like how they did on this original. However, you can see the paint is similar, however the weathering is a little different. You know, you can see there's a big splotch on the shoulder there, but not here. It's, you know, just subtle little differences. The old one had this pouch painted, but it's not painted here. You know, nothing too major. It's not like they cut anything out significantly. I'm just not the biggest fan of how they changed the helmet paint right there. However, I do want to compare with the other one in the set to show that I'm pretty sure the paint is the same across both of these. Like, you can see the big shoulder splotch there. It's larger there. And you can see even on this one, the, the mouthpiece is painted way up on that. I'm thinking I might be able to sand it off a little bit and get rid of that little bit of extra black that's painted over where it should not be painted. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't look awful. It's just something that I noticed. Okay, so more comparisons. Let's compare the Squad Leader, because this is my favorite version of the Shoretrooper. I'm so happy to finally get one. The main difference with this is that he has the soft goods now. You can see it does have a new belt. It does have a completely new belt piece. Doesn't really have any paint on the new belt piece besides a little bit on the front there. But he does have the new soft goods, which is really nice. Other than that, the figure is physically identical. And again, it does have the similar issues with the helmet. I mean, all of them have basically the same helmet. They even have the same kind of weathering on the helmet where it kind of rises up right there at the edge. However, we did get the Squad Leader in 5 POA. And because I love the Squad Leader, I had to get that one. Let's get that dead captain out from the back. So yeah, you can see I really am surprised how much better the 5 POA versions of the helmets came out over the super articulated. You can see it even has a little bit of extra paint on the black right there. Has some black paint on the sides for both of them, but that little extra paint on the face I feel like makes a lot of difference. The mouthpiece is better painted. I'm just surprised at how much more nicely painted that is. However, the weathering is not nearly as good. It's a bit of a darker tan, and it also just doesn't have the level of detail that this new one does. I noticed that the shoulder, the white's kind of, you can see it's kind of at a curve, even though it's straight here. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be straight, so that's kind of interesting. Another thing too, I feel like the chest, the blue is a little lower than it is on this one. However, I think that's more accurate. So overall, I like having a little bit of a squad going with a couple squad leaders, but this new one's definitely a lot better. And I do want to show off right now, without the skirting that the other ones have, you get the most leg articulation out of this. And he does have the old disc hinges, but it's not that bad. Honestly, this is one of the easier to use out of all the disc hinges. What really holds this mold back is how little how little knee and elbow articulation you get. I don't know what they were thinking there. They really poorly engineered that. That is really bad. So there's a squad leader. Then let's bring in the captain, because even though I do not have a 5POA captain, I do want to compare it with the custom that I made about 4 years ago, because I really wanted a captain, so I made one myself. And you can see, I mean, I think I did a pretty good job. I think I did pretty good. I got it in all the right spots. I think I did good. Looks good. I actually don't mind having 2 captains, because I actually have 10 Shoretroopers, 2 captains, 2 squad leaders. I think I have 6 articulated ones now, or 4. I'm trying to think of math. I have 4 articulated ones and 2 5POA normal Shoretroopers. So I do have a bit of an army, and I'll show you at the end here. But yeah, you know, I think they did a pretty good job. And I think the paint's pretty good. Again, same issues with the helmet. I do think the helmet could have been done better. But yeah, the blue's nice. I love the weathering on the blue. I think it looks really good. I really like the captain. I think it's a cool design. I just love the Shoretroopers in general. I hope we get a figure of the new version that's going to be in the Andor show. But yeah, I dig it. It's nice. I think it's a good one. I think they're all good. Let's show the articulation with the captain here, because even though we've known this mold for a little while, I do want to show that it is kind of dated. I think they could have made it a little bit better. So the head is just on a single ball joint. Doesn't have a dumbbell like modern ones do. So you do get a decent amount of range, you know, nice tilt and everything, but not what we'd really expect nowadays. Shoulders are on a ball hinge. The elbows, they don't even go 90 degrees, and I feel like that's really limiting. He still has the in and out for the left hand, but he does have up and down for the right, and it's actually a very nice range of articulation. So it kind of makes up for how bad the elbow is. So you can still get him posed, holding the rifle pretty nice there. The waist is actually pretty good, but with the skirting, you saw how nicely it moved without the skirting for the squad leader. The skirting does get out of the way more than you would expect, but it still does limit it a little bit. You get a thigh swivel. Some of the worst knees I've ever seen. The knees are really bad. And the ankles. This figure's so old it doesn't even have the ankle pivot yet. It has the hinge and swivel. So yeah, articulation's not that good on this one. I mean, it's good, but compared to what we've been getting recently, man, it's kind of jarring just seeing how different, Black Series 3 3/4 inch stuff was then to how Vintage Collection stuff is now. I mean, do I still love my Shoretrooper army that I'm going to begin to amass in front of you? Yes, I do. Despite the age on these figures, I'm still definitely a big fan. And I'm happy that this set came out, because I really like when the sets that they offer in these, like the Troop Builder sets, I like when they offer something we haven't gotten before. That's actually why I skipped on the Death Trooper pack, because it doesn't have anything we don't already have. So I decided I didn't want that one, so I did not get it. However, I got this because it has new troopers. I'm getting the clone one because they all have the new head. I got the Rebel one. I don't know if I ordered the Hoth Rebel one. I'll have to double check. If I didn't, I might actually go back and order that, because I like me some Hoth Rebels, even though I already have plenty. So yeah, you can see right here I do have a nice little force of 10 Shoretroopers. I think it's a nice little army. I dig it. For some reason, it's really dark in the back. There we go. Yeah, actually, the reason why it's so dark, for whatever reason, this one's just a darker tan than all the rest. So yeah, I really do like this little Shoretrooper army I got going on. They're my favorite specialized version of the Stormtrooper. I like them more than the Snowtrooper, than the Scout Trooper. I think they're great, and I think this set is pretty damn good. It's not perfect, like I said, just because of the age of the figures, and I think they kind of did a little goofy of a job on the helmets. However, the helmets aren't jarring. It's not a horrible paint application. I think this set is well worth it if you're a fan of the Shoretroopers, if you're a Rogue One fan, if you want to bulk out your army. If you didn't get any Shoretroopers before, this is a must-buy for you, because you get the essentials: 2 troops, squad leader, captain. Boom, there you go. But for me, who already had a little bit of a Shoretrooper force, I think this is an awesome bulking out of it, and I think that this pretty much completes my Shoretrooper army. I don't really feel like I need much more than this. Alrighty, I'm really excited to see what other packs they do next. I'm really hoping we get some more clone ones, because we need some more clone ones. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for watching. Special shout out to the patrons at Patreon. Thank you all so much for the continued support. Alrighty guys, there we go. Have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.